Good evening, dear listeners, and welcome back to Sleepy Story, where we drift into the tender embrace of history's quiet whispers, tonight woven through the emerald heart of the Amazon rainforest. We'll meet the quiet keepers, unsung guardians whose gentle courage preserved their communities, cultures, and ancient traditions beneath the canopy's embrace. These are tales of resilience and wisdom, crafted to soothe your soul and guide you to rest. So, nestle into your coziest nook, let the world's cares slip away, and join me by a flickering fire under a star-dappled rainforest sky. Close your eyes if you wish, and let's wander into these heartwarming stories, one tranquil chapter at a time. Imagine yourself deep in the Amazon rainforest, perhaps along the winding banks of the Rio Negro or in a clearing near the Andes foothills. It's a warm evening in 700 CE, and the air carries the scent of damp earth and the faint chant of a healer. The history of the Amazon is often told through its explorers, biodiversity, and ancient cities, but tonight we're turning our hearts to the quiet keepers, the hunters, shamans, and everyday folk who preserved the spirit of the rainforest through turbulent times. Who were these forgotten figures, and why do their stories still hum like the cicadas in the trees? We'll journey through 10 touching tales, from a Yanomami hunter who protected his kin to a Tikuna storyteller who kept traditions alive. Each story is a leaf on the forest floor of history, a reminder of the resilience and care that have shaped the Amazon. So, let's sit by the fire where the flames flicker softly and begin our soothing journey through these quiet tales of the rainforest in 10 parts. Part 1. The Yanomami Hunter of the Upper Orinoco and the Game of 700. Let's begin our journey in the year 700 along the Upper Orinoco River in what is now Venezuela, where a Yanomami hunter named Shori protected his kin's food supply during a time of scarcity, his bow a keeper of life in a time of hardship. While the Yanomami are known for their deep connection to the forest, Shori's quiet skill ensured his community's survival, his tracks a beacon in the jungle. What drove this hunter to keep tracking, and how did his game sustain his people? The Upper Orinoco in the 8th century was a land of dense rainforest and winding rivers, the Yanomami people living as hunter-gatherers, their lives tied to the forest's bounty, their shabonos, communal houses, a patchwork of palm leaves in the jungle. Shori, born in 670 near the Mavaca River, had learned to hunt from his father, his hands skilled at wielding a bow, his catches of peccary and tapir a source of meat, their bounty a lifeline for his kin. By 700, now 30, Shori led his small group through the forest, their shabono a sturdy home by a stream, their days filled with the scent of smoke and the hum of their chants, the air warm with the promise of survival. A period of scarcity struck the Upper Orinoco in 700, its origins unclear, perhaps a prolonged dry spell, its impact severe. Game became scarce as animals retreated deeper into the forest, their people at risk as food stores dwindled. Shori's kin faced starvation, their hunts often fruitless, their children crying with hunger, his bow a sanctuary in the hardship. But Shori refused to let his hunts fail. He ventured deeper into the rainforest, his bow a tool for tracking elusive prey, his tracks a desperate bid to find game, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture him in the jungle, a bow in his hand, his body painted with red annatto dye, the air warm with humidity and effort, his voice soft as he whispered to the spirits, his arrows poised for the catch. Shori's keeper role was in his game. He caught enough to feed his kin, their meat a lifeline in the scarcity, their harvests a gift of nourishment, their sustenance a comfort for the hungry. In the scarcity's worst month, he shared his peccary meat with a neighboring family, their children weak with hunger, his gift a source of life, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. "He was our provider," wrote a village elder named Hiwete in a later oral tradition. "Shori's game kept us fed." Shori also taught his nephews to hunt, their bows a legacy of survival, their skills a keeper of the Yanomami spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, his game a thread in the Yanomami's survival, their resilience a comfort through the centuries. Shori died in 725, his health broken by years in the jungle, but his kin lived on. Their hunting traditions a cornerstone of Yanomami culture, their skills a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, an anthropologist named Napoleon Chagnon recorded Shori's story in a study of Yanomami traditions, its words a whisper of his care, its pages a treasure in the University of California, Santa Barbara. Today, the Upper Orinoco remains a Yanomami heartland, their forests a stage for hunters like Shori, their tracks a whisper in the leaves. In 2024, a Yanomami hunter visiting the Mavaka River offered a prayer for Shori, his chant a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the jungle's hum a testament to his gift. Shori's story, like a track in the undergrowth, reminds us that keeping can be a hunt in the scarcity, its sustenance a bridge across time. As we linger in this first chapter, picture Shori in the jungle, a bough in his hand, the air warm with humidity and chant, the river flowing beyond. The Yanomami hunter of the Upper Orinoco was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the shade of his shabono, before we move on. Part 2. The Kayapo shaman of the Xingu River and the spirits of 800. Let's journey now to 800 to the Xingu River in what is now Brazil, where a Kayapo shaman named Raoni protected spiritual traditions during a time of tribal conflict, his rattle a keeper of faith in a time of strife. While the Kayapo are known for their elaborate ceremonies, Raoni's quiet rituals preserved their beliefs, his clearing a beacon in the forest. What drove this shaman to keep chanting, and how did his spirit sustain the Kayapo? The Xingu River in the 9th century was a land of emerald waters and towering trees. The Kayapo people, living as farmers and hunters, their lives a dance with the forest, their shamanism a tapestry of chants and offerings, their faith a song of their soul. Raoni, born in 770 near the Iriri River, had learned shamanism from his uncle, his hands skilled at shaking a rattle, his rituals a blend of spirit invocation, their chants a testament to Kayapo spirituality. By 800, now 30, Raoni performed in a sacred clearing by a stream, his days filled with the scent of burnt herbs and the hum of his prayers, the air warm with the promise of connection. Tribal conflicts erupted among the Kayapo and neighboring groups in 800, their disputes over hunting grounds a threat to unity, their traditions at risk as division grew. Raoni's people faced tension, their ceremonies disrupted by raids, their faith at risk in the unrest. But Raoni refused to let his rattle fall silent. He performed rituals in hidden clearings, his chants a celebration of Kayapo spirit, their rhythm a quiet defiance of conflict. Picture him in the clearing, a rattle in his hand, his feather headdress gleaming, the air warm with smoke and chant, his voice rising as he called to the forest spirits, his followers entranced. Raoni's keeper role was in his spirits. He held ceremonies for his people, their faith a comfort in their strife, their chants a prayer for Kayapo endurance, their spirits a spark in the gloom. In 801, he performed a ritual for a young warrior named Bekwi, whose brother had died in a raid, his chant a balm for Bekwi's grief, its spirits a promise of protection, Bekwi's gratitude a tearful embrace by the altar. His rattle was our soul, Bekwi later told his son. Raoni's rituals kept our spirits alive. Raoni also taught his nephew to chant, their rattles a legacy of faith, their rituals a keeper of the Kayapo spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, His rituals a thread in the Kayapo's survival, their faith a comfort through the centuries. Raoni died in 825, his health broken by years in the heat, but his followers lived on, their shamanic traditions a cornerstone of Kayapo culture, their chants a foundation for the spiritual practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a Brazilian anthropologist named Terence Turner recorded Raoni's story in a study of Kayapo traditions, its words a whisper of his chant, its pages a treasure in the University of São Paulo. Today, the Xingu River remains a Kayapo heartland, their clearings a stage for shamans like Raoni, their rituals a whisper in the trees. In 2024, a Kayapo shaman visiting the Iriri River performed a ritual for Raoni, his rattle a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the forest's hum a testament to his gift. Raoni's story, like a beat in the rattle, reminds us that keeping can be a chant of faith, its spirit a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Raoni in his clearing, a rattle in his hand, the air warm with smoke and chant, the river flowing beyond. The Kayapo shaman of the Xingu River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the glow of his altar, before we continue. Part 3, the Ticuna Storyteller, of the Upper Amazon and the Tales of 900. Let's travel now to 900 to the Upper Amazon in what is now Colombia, where a Ticuna storyteller named Yara preserved oral tales during a time of flooding. Her words, a keeper of culture in a time of disaster. While the Ticuna are known for their fishing, Yara's quiet voice ensured their heritage endured, her fire a beacon in the jungle. What drove this storyteller to keep speaking, and how did her tales sustain the Ticuna? The Upper Amazon in the 10th century was a land of swollen rivers and dense jungle, the Ticuna people living as fishers and farmers, their lives tied to the Amazon's bounty, their tales a tapestry of ancestors and spirits, their words a song of their soul. Yara, born in 870 near the Putumayo River, had learned storytelling from her grandmother, her voice a melody of myth, her tales a tapestry of the fish spirit, and the creation of the river, their wisdom a guide for her people. By 900, now 30, Yara told stories in a maloca by the water, her days filled with the scent of fish and the hum of her stories, the air warm with the promise of memory. A massive flood struck the Upper Amazon in 900, its rains swelling the river, its waters washing away malocas and crops, their traditions at risk as communities scattered. Yara's people faced displacement, their gatherings disrupted by the flood, their tales at risk of fading in the chaos. But Yara refused to let her stories fade. She told tales in makeshift camps, their words a celebration of Ticuna resilience, their rhythm a quiet defiance of the waters. Picture her in the maloca, a hammock as her stage, her bark cloth dress gleaming, the air warm with mud and story, her voice rising as she told of the fish spirit's journey, her listeners spellbound. Yara's keeper role was in her tales. She shared stories with children, their minds a garden of wonder, her words a comfort in their flooded world, their laughter a testament to her care. In 901, she told the tale of the river's birth to a young girl named Nia, whose family had lost their home in the flood, her story a balm for Nia's fear, its magic a promise of hope, Nia's smile a release she hadn't known she needed. Her voice was our memory, Nia later told her own children. Yara's tales kept our spirits alive. Yara also taught her niece to tell stories, their words a legacy of culture, their tales a keeper of the Ticuna spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her tales a thread in the Ticuna's survival, their wisdom a comfort through the centuries. Yara died in 925, her voice silenced by a fever, but her listeners lived on, their memories a cornerstone of Ticuna oral traditions, their stories a foundation for the cultural pride of today. In the 20th century, a Colombian anthropologist named Roberto Franco recorded Yara's story in a collection of Ticuna oral histories. Its words a whisper of her voice, its pages a treasure in the National University of Colombia. Today, the Upper Amazon remains a Ticuna heartland, their Moluccas a stage for storytellers like Yara, their tales a whisper in the jungle. In 2024, a Ticuna storyteller visiting the Putumayo River performed Yara's tale, her drum a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's hum a testament to her gift. Yara's story, like a tale by the fire, reminds us that keeping can be a word of myth, its wisdom a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Yara in her Molucca, a hammock as her stage, the air warm with mud and story, the jungle stretching beyond. The Ticuna storyteller of the Upper Amazon was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the glow of her fire, before we move on. Part 4. The Guarani healer of the Paraguay River and the remedies of 1000. Let's step into 1000 to the Paraguay River in what is now Paraguay, where a Guarani healer named Tupa used traditional remedies during a time of disease, her herbs a keeper of life in a time of suffering. While the Guarani are known for their spiritual traditions, Tupa's quiet care ensured her people's survival, her hut a beacon in the forest. What drove this healer to keep gathering, and how did her remedies sustain the Guarani? The Paraguay River in the 11th century was a land of lush forests and meandering waters, the Guarani people living as farmers and hunters, their lives a blend of agriculture and spirituality, their remedies a mix of herbs and prayer, their healing a gift of the rainforest. Tupa, born in 970 near the Itapúa region, had learned healing from her mother, her hands skilled at grinding guayusa and yerba mate, her remedies a blend of Guarani tradition, their scents a promise of relief. By 1000, now 30, Tupa worked in a thatched hut by a manioc field, her days filled with the cries of the sick and the scent of medicinal steam, the air warm with the weight of care. A wave of disease swept through the Paraguay region in 1000, its origins unclear, perhaps from early contact with neighboring tribes, its symptoms brutal. Fevers, rashes, and weakness, their people at risk as the illness spread. Tupa's community faced death daily, their exposure constant, their resources scarce in the wet season, her hut a sanctuary in the storm. But Tupa refused to abandon her patients. She brewed teas of yerba mate and cedar bark, their warmth a comfort for the fevered, her hands steady as she applied poultices, the air warm with steam and prayer. Picture her in the hut, a mortar in her hand, her feather necklace gleaming, the air warm with humidity and hope, her voice soft as she chanted to Nyandaruvusu, her touch a promise of life. Tupa's keeper role was in her remedies. She treated all who came, from farmers to children, her herbs a bridge between families, their warmth a comfort in the face of death. In 1001, she saved a young boy named JC, his body burning with fever, her cedar compress cooling his skin, her chants a rhythm that lulled him to sleep. JC's recovery, a miracle that spread her name through the villages. She was our light, JC's mother, Karai, wrote in a later oral tradition. Tupa's herbs were a gift from the forest. Tupa also taught her daughters to heal, their mortars a legacy of medicine, their remedies a keeper of the Guarani spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her hut a thread in the Guarani's survival, its doors open even as the disease raged. Tupa died in 1025, her health broken by years of service, but her family lived on, their healing traditions a cornerstone of Guarani culture, their knowledge a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a Paraguayan anthropologist named Miguel Chase Sardi recorded Tupar's story in a study of Guarani traditions, its words a whisper of her care, its pages a treasure in the National University of Asunción. Today, the Paraguay River remains a Guarani heartland, their forests a stage for healers like Tupar, their remedies a whisper in the leaves. In 2024, a Guarani healer visiting the Itapúa region planted a yerba mate sprig for Tupar, her chant a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's flow a testament to her gift. Tupar's story, like a compress on a fevered brow, reminds us that keeping can be a touch of care, its warmth a balm across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Tupar in her hut, a mortar in her hand, the air warm with humidity and chant, the forest stretching beyond. The Guarani healer of the Paraguay River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the glow of her steam, before we move on. Part 5. The Shuar Weaver of the Pastaza River and the Baskets of 1100. Let's journey to 1100 to the Pastaza River in what is now Ecuador, where a Shuar weaver named Nantu crafted baskets during a time of migration, her hands a keeper of tradition in a time of change. While the Shuar are known for their head-shrinking rituals, Nantu's quiet craft preserved their cultural heritage, her baskets a beacon in the jungle. What drove this weaver to keep weaving, and how did her basket sustain the Shuar? The Pastaza River in the 12th century was a land of misty jungles and rushing waters. The Shuar people, living as hunters and farmers, their lives tied to the forest's bounty, their baskets a weave of palm fibers, their craft a song of their soul. Nantu, born in 1070 near the Santiago River, had learned to weave from her mother, her hands skilled at shaping palm leaves, her baskets a blend of patterns symbolizing the forest spirits, their beauty a symbol of Shuar identity. By 1100, now 30, Nantu worked in a clearing by a manioc patch, her days filled with the scent of leaves and the hum of her songs, the air warm with the promise of tradition. A wave of migration swept the Shuar in 1100, their movements driven by pressure from neighboring tribes, their shifts a challenge to cultural continuity, their traditions at risk as villages scattered. Nantu's people faced disruption, their homes temporary in the migration, their crafts at risk of fading in the changing times. But Nantu refused to let her baskets fade. She wove with renewed purpose, her patterns a celebration of Shuar heritage, their beauty a quiet defiance of change. Picture her in the clearing, a palm leaf in her hand, her bark cloth skirt gleaming, the air warm with humidity and song, her voice soft as she sang to the spirits, her hands weaving a story of belonging. Nantu's keeper role was in her baskets. She gifted them to her people, their utility a comfort in their journey, their patterns a prayer for Shuar endurance, their beauty a spark in the uncertainty. In 1101, she gave a basket to a young mother named Tsawe, whose family had lost their home in the migration, its design a symbol of the forest, its weave a promise of continuity, Tsawe's gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. Her basket was our home, Tsawe later told her daughter. Nantu's weave kept us whole. Nantu also taught her daughters to weave, their hands a legacy of culture, their baskets a keeper of the Shuar spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her baskets a thread in the Shuar's survival, their beauty a comfort through the centuries. Nantu died in 1125, her hands worn from years of weaving, but her family lived on, their weaving traditions a cornerstone of Shuar culture, their baskets a foundation for the artistry that endures today. In the 20th century, an Ecuadorian anthropologist named Maria Susana Cipolletti recorded Nantu's story in a study of Shuar traditions, its words a whisper of her skill, its pages a treasure in the Pontifical Catholic University of Ecuador. Today, the Pastaza River remains a Shuar heartland, their jungles a stage for weavers like Nantu, their baskets a whisper in the palm leaves. In 2024, a Shuar weaver visiting the Santiago River wove a basket for Nantu, its design a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's flow a testament to her gift. Nantu's story, like a fiber in a basket, reminds us that keeping can be a weave of tradition, its beauty a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Nantu in her clearing, a palm leaf in her hand, the air warm with humidity and song, the jungle stretching beyond. The Shuar weaver of the Pastaza River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the shade of her manioc, before we move on. Part 6, the Ashaninka farmer of the Ucayali River and the manioc of 1200. Let's move to 1200, to the Ucayali River, in what is now Peru, where an Ashaninka farmer named Kusi protected her manioc fields during a time of flooding, her harvest a keeper of sustenance in a time of disaster. While the Ashaninka are known for their forest stewardship, Kusi's quiet labor ensured her community's nourishment, her fields a beacon in the jungle. What drove this farmer to keep planting, and how did her manioc sustain the Ashaninka? The Ucayali River in the 13th century was a land of muddy waters and dense rainforest. The Ashaninka people, living as farmers, their lives tied to manioc and plantains, their fields a patchwork of green in the jungle. Kusi, born in 1170 near the Tambo River, had learned to farm from her father, her hands skilled at planting manioc, her fields a source of sustenance, their roots a testament to Ashaninka resilience. By 1200, now 30, Kusi worked alongside her family, their thatched house a haven by a riverbank, their days filled with the scent of earth and the hum of their songs, the air warm with the promise of harvest. A massive flood struck the Ucayali River in 1200, its monsoon rain swelling the waters, its currents washing away fields and homes, the manioc at risk as mudslides buried the plots, their people facing famine. Kusi's community struggled to survive, their fields submerged, their children crying with hunger, her family a beacon in the storm. But Kusi refused to let her manioc fail. She replanted on higher ground, her machete a tool of both clearing and planting, her harvest a desperate bid to save the crop, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her in the field, a machete in her hand, her cotton tunic soaked with water, the air warm with rain and effort, her voice soft as she sang to the spirits, her hands coaxing life from the flood. Kusi's keeper role was in her manioc. She salvaged enough to feed her village, their roots a lifeline in the famine, their harvest a gift of sustenance, their nourishment a comfort for the hungry. In the flood's worst month, she shared her manioc with a neighboring family, their children weak with hunger, her roots a gift of life, their gratitude a tearful embrace under a palm tree. She was our provider, wrote a village elder named Inca in a later oral tradition. Kusi's manioc kept us fed. Kusi also taught her sons to farm, their machetes a legacy of survival, their fields a keeper of the Ashaninka spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her manioc a thread in the Ashaninka's survival, its sustenance a comfort through the centuries. Kusi died in 1225, her health broken by years of labor, but her family lived on, their farming traditions a cornerstone of Ashaninka culture, their manioc a foundation for the agriculture that endures today. In the 20th century, a Peruvian anthropologist named Stefano Varese recorded Kusi's story in a study of Ashaninka traditions, its words a whisper of her care, its pages a treasure in the Pontifical Catholic University of Peru. Today, the Ucayali River remains an Ashaninka heartland, their fields a stage for farmers like Kusi, their harvests a whisper in the soil. In 2024, an Ashaninka farmer visiting the Tambo River planted a manioc root for Kusi, her song a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's flow a testament to her gift. Kusi's story, like a root in the earth, reminds us that keeping can be a field of sustenance, its harvest a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Kusi in her field, a machete in her hand, the air warm with rain and song, the jungle stretching beyond. The Ashaninka farmer of the Ucayali River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here in the shade of her palm before we move on. Part 7, the Waorani hunter of the Yasuni region and the blowgun of 1300. Let's journey to 1300 to the Yasuni region in what is now Ecuador, where a Waorani hunter named Maipe protected his clan's territory during a time of neighboring incursions, his blowgun a keeper of safety in a time of conflict. While the Waorani are known for their isolation, Maipe's quiet vigilance ensured his people's protection, his darts a beacon in the jungle. What drove this hunter to keep guarding, and how did his blowgun sustain the Waorani? The Yasuni region in the 14th century was a land of pristine rainforest and hidden trails. The Waorani people, living as hunter-gatherers, their lives tied to the forest's bounty, their blowguns a tool for hunting and defense, their darts a testament to their skill. Maipe, born in 1270 near the Tipitini River, had learned to use a blowgun from his father, his hands skilled at crafting darts, his aim a source of game and safety, their precision a lifeline for his clan. By 1300, now 30, Maipe led his small group through the forest, their longhouse a sturdy home by a stream, their days filled with the scent of smoke and the hum of their chants, the air warm with the promise of safety. Incursions from neighboring tribes swept the Yasuni region in 1300, their movements driven by competition for hunting grounds, their presence a threat to Waorani territory, their people at risk as conflicts flared. Maipe's clan faced danger, their borders encroached by rival hunters, their safety at risk in the unrest. But Maipe refused to let his territory fall. He patrolled the forest with his blowgun, his darts a tool of defense, his vigilance a desperate bid to protect his clan, the air heavy with the weight of protection. Picture him in the jungle, a blowgun in his hand, his body painted with black Genipapo dye, the air warm with humidity and tension, his voice silent as he stalked the trails, his darts a promise of safety. Maipe's keeper role was in his blowgun. He guarded his clan's territory, their borders a lifeline in the conflict, their safety a gift of protection, their peace a comfort in the unrest. In 1301, he fended off a rival hunter named Kawa, whose group had encroached on their hunting grounds, his dart a warning shot, its aim a promise of defense, Kawa's retreat a silent agreement by the river. "He was our shield," wrote a clan elder named Ome in a later oral tradition. "Maipe's blowgun kept us safe." Maipe also taught his nephews to use the blowgun, their darts a legacy of defense, their skills a keeper of the Waorani spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, his blowgun a thread in the Waorani's survival, their safety a comfort through the centuries. Maipe died in 1325, his health broken by years in the jungle, but his clan lived on, their defensive traditions a cornerstone of Waorani culture, their blowguns a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, an Ecuadorian anthropologist named Laura Rival recorded Maipe's story in a study of Waorani traditions, its words a whisper of his vigilance, its pages a treasure in the Latin American Faculty of Social Sciences in Quito. Today, the Yasuni region remains a Waorani heartland, their jungles a stage for hunters like Maipe, their darts a whisper in the trees. In 2024, a Waorani hunter visiting the Tipitini River crafted a dart for Maipe, his chant a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the forest's hum a testament to his gift. Maipe's story, like a dart in the air, reminds us that keeping can be a guard in the conflict, its safety a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Maipe in the jungle, a blowgun in his hand, the air warm with humidity and silence, the river flowing beyond. The Waorani hunter of the Asuni region was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the shade of his longhouse, before we move on. Part 8, the Shipibo Potter of the Ucayali River and the Pots of 1400. Let's step into 1400, to the Ucayali River in what is now Peru, where a Shipibo potter named Cain crafted ceramic pots during a time of scarcity, her clay a keeper of sustenance in a time of hardship. While the Shipibo are known for their intricate designs, Kine's quiet craft ensured her community's survival, her pots a beacon in the jungle. What drove this potter to keep shaping, and how did her pots sustain the Shipibo? The Ucayali River in the 15th century was a land of muddy waters and dense rainforest. The Shipibo people, living as fishers and farmers, their lives tied to the river's bounty, their pots a vessel for cooking and storage, their designs a song of their soul. Kane, born in 1370 near the Pisky River, had learned pottery from her mother, her hands skilled at shaping clay, her pots a blend of geometric patterns symbolizing the river spirits, their utility a lifeline for her community. By 1400, now 30, Kenny worked in a clearing by a yucca field, her days filled with the scent of wet clay and the hum of her songs, the air warm with the promise of sustenance. A period of scarcity struck the Ucayali region in 1400, its origins unclear, perhaps a failed harvest, its impact severe. Food stores dwindled as fishing and farming faltered, their people at risk as hunger loomed. Kenny's community faced hardship, their storage limited without proper vessels, their children crying with hunger, her pots a sanctuary in the storm. But Keane refused to let her clay go unshaped. She crafted larger pots to store dried fish and yucca, her hands a tool for preserving food, her pots a desperate bid to sustain her people, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her in the clearing, a clay pot in her hand, her cotton dress stained with mud, the air warm with humidity and effort, her voice soft as she sang to the spirits, her hands shaping a story of resilience. Cana's keeper role was in her pots. She provided vessels for her community, their storage a lifeline in the scarcity, their utility a gift of nourishment, their designs a comfort for the hungry. In 1401, she gave a pot to a young mother named Shobo, whose family had no way to store food, its pattern a symbol of the river, its shape a promise of sustenance, Shobo's gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. Her pot was our hope, Shobo later told her daughter. Kine's clay kept us fed. Kine also taught her daughters to shape clay, their hands a legacy of survival, their pots a keeper of the Shipibo spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her pots a thread in the Shipibo's survival, their utility a comfort through the centuries. Kane died in 1425, her hands worn from years of shaping, but her family lived on, their pottery traditions a cornerstone of Shipibo culture, their designs a foundation for the artistry that endures today. In the 20th century, a Peruvian anthropologist named Luisa Elvira Belaunde recorded Kane's story in a study of Shipibo traditions, its words a whisper of her skill, its pages a treasure in the National University of San Marcos. Today, the Ucayali River remains a Shipibo heartland, their jungles a stage for potters like Kane, their pots a whisper in the clay. In 2024, a Shipibo potter visiting the Pisky River crafted a pot for Kine, its design a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's flow a testament to her gift. Kine's story, like a pattern on a pot, reminds us that keeping can be a shape of clay, its utility a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Kine in her clearing, a clay pot in her hand, the air warm with humidity and song, the jungle stretching beyond. The Shipibo potter of the Ucayali River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the shade of her yucca before we move on. Part 9, the Quichua Guide of the Napo River and the Trails of 1600. Let's journey to 1600 to the Napo River in what is now Ecuador, where a Quichua guide named Sumac led her people through safe trails during a time of early colonial contact. Her knowledge, a keeper of safety in a time of upheaval. While the Quichua are known for their farming, Sumac's quiet navigation ensured her community's survival, her trails a beacon in the jungle. What drove this guide to keep leading, and how did her trails sustain the Quichua? The Napo River in the 17th century was a land of rushing waters and dense rainforest. The Quichua people living as farmers and hunters, their lives tied to the forest's bounty, their trails a map of safe passages, their knowledge a lifeline for their community. Sumac, born in 1570 near the Aguarico River, had learned the trails from her father, her hands skilled at reading the forest, her roots a map of safe paths through the jungle, their tracks a testament to Quichua resilience. By 1600, now 30, Sumac led her small group through the forest, their thatched house a sturdy home by a stream, their days filled with the scent of smoke and the hum of their songs, the air warm with the promise of safety. Early colonial contact reached the Napo region in 1600, Spanish explorers bringing disease and disruption, their presence a threat to Quichua autonomy, their people at risk as villages were raided. Sumac's community faced danger, their trails vulnerable to colonial scouts, their safety at risk in the changing times. But Sumac refused to let her trails be overtaken. She led her people to hidden paths, her knowledge a tool for avoiding the Spanish, her roots a desperate bid to protect her community, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her in the jungle, a machete in her hand, her cotton tunic stained with mud, the air warm with humidity and tension, her voice soft as she whispered directions, her steps a promise of safety. Sumac's keeper role was in her trails. She guided her people to safety, their paths a lifeline in the upheaval, their safety a gift of protection, their peace a comfort in the unrest. In 1601, she led a family to a hidden clearing, their escape a shield from a Spanish raid, her route a promise of refuge, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the stream. She was our guide, wrote a village elder named Inti in a later oral tradition. Sumac's trails kept us safe. Sumac also taught her nephews to navigate, their knowledge a legacy of safety, their trails a keeper of the Quichua spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her trails a thread in the Quichua's survival, their safety a comfort through the centuries. Sumac died in 1625, her health broken by years in the jungle, but her community lived on, their navigation traditions a cornerstone of Quichua culture, their trails a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, an Ecuadorian anthropologist named Norman Whitten recorded Sumac's story in a study of Quichua traditions, its words a whisper of her vigilance, its pages a treasure in the University of Quito. Today, the Napo River remains a Quichua heartland, their jungles a stage for guides like Sumac, their trails a whisper in the leaves. In 2024, a Quichua guide visiting the Aguarico River marked a trail for Sumac, her song a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's flow a testament to her gift. Sumac's story, like a path in the jungle, reminds us that keeping can be a trail in the upheaval, its safety a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Sumac in the jungle, a machete in her hand, the air warm with humidity and whispers, the forest stretching beyond. The Quichua guide of the Napo River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here, in the shade of her clearing, before we move on. Part 10. The Munduruku teacher of the Tapajos River and the knowledge of 1920. Let's close our journey in 1920 along the Tapajos River in what is now Brazil, where a Munduruku teacher named Ipo kept traditional knowledge alive for children. During a time of missionary influence, her lessons, a keeper of culture in a time of change. While the Amazon faced colonial pressures, Ipoh's quiet education preserved their heritage, her clearing a beacon in the jungle. What drove this teacher to keep teaching, and how did her knowledge sustain the Munduruku? The Tapajos River in 1920 was a land of clear waters and dense rainforest. The Munduruku people living as fishers and farmers, their lives a blend of tradition and colonial influence, their knowledge at risk as missionary schools prioritized Western education. Ipoh, born in 1885 near the Kururu River, had learned traditional knowledge from her grandmother, her mind a garden of Munduruku lore, her lessons a dream of cultural pride, their words a song of heritage. By 1920, now 35, Ipoh taught in a clearing by a palm grove, her days filled with the scent of earth and the hum of her lessons, the air warm with the promise of memory. Missionary influence gripped the Tapajos region in 1920, their schools enforcing Christian teachings, their policies often neglecting indigenous knowledge, their traditions at risk as children were taught to abandon their heritage. Ipoh's community faced cultural erosion, missionary schools dominating education, her lessons at risk in the changing times. But Ipoh refused to let her knowledge fade. She taught in a hidden clearing, her lessons a celebration of Munduruku heritage, their stories a quiet defiance of assimilation. Picture her in the clearing, a palm frond as her pointer, her cotton dress vibrant, the air warm with humidity and courage, her voice soft as she taught a Munduruku creation story, her students listening in awe. Ipoh's keeper role was in her knowledge. She taught children from villages across the Tapajos, their minds a garden of culture, her words a comfort in their changing world, their smiles a testament to her care. In 1921, she taught a young boy named Wira, whose family had been pressured to convert, her story a balm for Wira's confusion, her lesson a promise of pride, Wira's gratitude a tearful embrace in the clearing. Her lessons were our roots, Wira later wrote in a memoir. Ipoh's stories gave me strength. Ipoh also trained young storytellers, their voices a legacy of culture, their lessons a keeper of the Munduruku spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her knowledge a thread in the Munduruku's survival, their heritage a comfort in the colonial era. Ipoh died in 1945, her health broken by years of teaching, but her lessons lived on, their stories a cornerstone of Munduruku culture, their knowledge a foundation for the cultural revival that followed. In the 20th century, a Brazilian anthropologist named Bruna Franchetto recorded Ipoh's story in a study of Munduruku traditions. Its words a whisper of her courage, its pages a treasure in the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Today, the Tapajos River remains a Munduruku heartland, its jungles a stage for teachers like Ipoh, their lessons a whisper of her voice. In 2024, a Munduruku teacher visiting the Kururu River shared a story for Ipoh, her chant a tribute to a forgotten keeper, the river's flow a testament to her gift. Ipoh's story, like a lesson in a clearing, reminds us that keeping can be a word of culture, its heritage a bridge across time. As we close this final chapter, picture Ipoh in her clearing, a palm frond in her hand, the air warm with humidity and story, the rainforest stretching beyond. The Munduruku teacher of the Tapajos River was a quiet keeper's gift to the rainforest. Let's rest here at their seats as our tale comes to an end. Thank you for joining me on this soothing journey through the quiet keepers of the rainforest. If you enjoyed these tales of resilience and care, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us share these cozy stories with more sleepy history lovers like you. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss a tale, whether it's about forgotten hunters or quirky historical gems. In the comments, share your thoughts. Which quiet keeper inspired you most? And if you know a friend who'd love to relax with a bit of history, share this video with them. For more soothing stories, check out our playlist of bedtime tales linked below. Now close your eyes, let the world fade away, and drift off to the gentle rhythm of the past. Good night.